She took my job. She took my home. She tried to take everything from me. But the one thing she couldn't take was my strength. They say what doesn't break you makes you stronger. Well, I didn't just survive. I rebuilt. And when I rose again, even karma couldn't have written it better. Losing everything hurts, but losing it to someone you trusted, that pain cuts deeper than anything else. My name is Ava, and for years I worked at a small design agency. I started as an intern, grew into a senior designer, and eventually became one of the most trusted people there. I wasn't rich or powerful, but I was so proud of what I'd built with my own two hands. Then Clara joined the team. She was new, incredibly charming, and fiercely ambitious. We clicked instantly, or so I thought. I showed her the ropes, shared my hard-earned tips, and even helped her with her projects. She called me her mentor. But behind that sweet smile was a plan I never saw coming. One day, our boss asked me to lead a major client project. This was it, the big one. The project that could finally earn me that promotion I'd been dreaming of. Clara offered to help, so naturally, I let her. We spent weeks working late nights, pouring our souls into perfecting every single detail. When the presentation day came, I woke up with a terrible fever and couldn't make it in. I trusted her completely to present our work. But the next morning, my world came crashing down. I found out she had presented everything as hers, and hers alone. The client loved it, management loved it. And Clara? She got the promotion I'd been working toward for years. When I confronted her, she just smiled and said, "That's business, Ava. Don't take it personally." A week later, I was called into HR. She had reported me for performance issues and negative behavior. I was completely blindsided and fired on the spot. To make things worse, I was living in a small apartment that her boyfriend owned. Within a month, I had an eviction notice on my door. I went from having a stable, happy life to sleeping on my friend's couch with nothing but a box of my belongings. It was humiliating. I cried, I questioned everything, and I almost gave up. But something deep inside me refused to let her win. So I started freelancing again, just like I did back in college. It was tough, long hours for little pay, but slowly I began to rebuild my portfolio. I learned new skills, connected with clients online, and found a confidence in myself I never knew I had. 6 months later, I landed a massive contract with a global company. Ironically, one of the clients Clara's agency had recently lost because of poor service. I poured my heart and soul into that project, and when it launched, it went viral. The campaign's success caught attention everywhere. I started getting messages from people asking if I was hiring, including employees from my old company. Curious, I did a little digging. The agency had been struggling. Turns out, after I left, Clara took shortcuts, cut corners, and lost key clients, including the one I had just signed. Karma doesn't always come fast, but it never, ever misses. A few months later, I was invited to an industry event as a guest speaker. As I stepped onto that stage, guess who I saw sitting in the audience? Clara. She couldn't even look me in the eye. After my speech, she approached me, her voice barely a whisper, and said, "You really made it, huh?" I just smiled and said, "You took my job and my home, but you couldn't take my strength. That's what built all of this." Her eyes welled up with tears. Maybe it was regret. Maybe it was jealousy. Honestly, I didn't care. I had already won. Today, I run my own design firm. I hire people based on their kindness and integrity, not just their talent. I make sure no one on my team ever feels like their hard work is invisible because I know exactly how that feels. Losing everything showed me something powerful. Strength isn't about never falling. It's about how you rise when no one believes you can. She took my job. She took my home. But she will never, ever take who I am. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. Remember to always believe in your own strength.